Hey everybody, John here. Welcome back to Catbird Hill. So we've got an absolutely beautiful November morning here, and it's a perfect day to go hunting for firewood. Well, every day is a perfect day to make firewood. But today we're on a mission, and I'm looking for wood that I can process into firewood that's pretty much ready to burn. So basically that moisture content internally of the wood less than 20%. And as you know, we've got a lot of wood lying around the property now from the tornado which hit back in June. So it's a matter of just trying to be very critical and selective of what wood it presents the best opportunity to get ready to burn firewood. So over here, I'll show you, we have the stack of logs one of the stacks of logs that were left from the tornado effects. So this is all ash. There's a little bit of sycamore in here, but this is primarily all ash. And these trees were all largely dead at the time they came down. And you can start to see already some of the drying here, which is a good sign, indicating that they're ready. But I also have wood that's lying on the ground, like over here, and all back through here. So I'd like to get stuff up off of the ground. This is actually, this pile, most of this is up on some other limbs that were laid down to kind of keep it off the dirt. But I still have wood that's lying on the ground that I'd like to get up and process as soon as possible. And one of the pieces that I think I'm going to get into this morning is this one right here. So this came down again in the tornado. And what I like about this is you can see here, we've got a lot of checking and cracking already on the end. This is also ash. So I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to section this up, and then we'll bring it back to the splitter and start to break it down and just check that moisture content. But also we've got a lot of other pieces that are on the ground further back here. So we're gonna delve into them as well. But let's take this guy apart and we'll see what we have. Okay, so we've got a nice little collection here of sectioned rounds. This stuff looks really good. I mean, really good. This is just rock solid. Even though you see some fungi on the outside here, this stuff is just absolutely perfect condition. Let's check out what we have down here. Some smaller material, probably about 8-10 inches in diameter, but still really nice and solid. So this is why I wanted to get this stuff up off the ground. You know, we haven't had a ton of rain, but we're getting into rainy, kind of cold, wet season here. And I just want to get this stuff up. If it's salvageable, all the better. Let's go take a look. So while we're back here in the wild and crazy part of the property, I thought I'd show you this. I was stacking wood a few days ago, and very, very windy, 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Beth was walking actually back here. She was walking through this area back here, and I heard this absolutely sickening crack and a thud, and I felt the shake in the ground probably 200 yards away. Of course, I went sprinting back, and you know, Beth was fine. She was running toward me, but this dead ash uprooted in that wind. And just to give you some sense of the scale here, I'm going to stand next to the root base. So this was no small tree. This actually was a tree that we did not have taken down. It was pretty heavily leaning that way, away from our property, from the center part of our property where we walk here. But this thing, it's a beast. I don't know how long it is. I'll try to give you some perspective here, maybe kind of following it down about as far as you can see, and it just keeps on going and going. Got a nice big rope of poison ivy around it, or it did. So this is an absolute monster of a tree, probably about 36 inches at the base, maybe even more, maybe 40. And we have a cherry tree here that came down at the same time. Again, you know, just rotted out here at the base. Of course, we know, you know, the ashes were pretty much dead anyway, but oh my heavens, terrible scare. But that's why you got to be careful around dead trees. Okay, so the piece on the left here came from a tree, and then one of the dead ash trees you showed back there, but actually came from a round that was cut very close to the bottom of the tree. This piece split came from the same log, but it was much higher up, would be toward the top of the tree. So I have a theory. This one probably is going to be a little bit wetter. Check it out here. 27%. Probably 14. Okay. So you can see that even from the same tree, a big difference between wood that I harvested toward the bottom of the tree trunk versus up toward the top. And that's kind of what I've always expected. The good news is that even when this wood, the sample on the left here, being higher moisture content, what I have found with ash is that literally within a month of just having this air dry, it'll be down under 20%. I'll be able to split this piece in half, and I can almost guarantee you it'll be less than 20% at that time. So good news. We definitely have some ready to burn firewood here. Got plenty of it. But we also have some firewood, some ash that'll be ready to burn in probably about a month. So this was the result of the cutting that I did earlier today. I'm really bad at looking at a pile of rounds like this and trying to figure out, is this a half a cord? Is it a full cord? It's a decent amount of wood as far as I'm concerned. But overall, the wood quality, even though it's been dead and down for a while, is really, really good. I mean, very few areas of any of the rounds where it's kind of punky, but you know, by and large, it all looks like this. It's just very, very solid, and you can kind of hear that. Even though it's solid, it just has the beginnings of that kind of dry, hollow sound to it, which is good. I'm glad for that. So I think today was a success. I'm actually on my way now down to restack the firewood stand at the end of the driveway. It's empty. Literally in 2 days, I've sold 12 bundles, and I've got to restack it again. We have our neighbors a couple miles down the road have a Christmas tree farm. They open up for business this weekend. I can guarantee you I'll be selling a lot of wood over the next few weeks before Christmas as people go back and forth between the main road and the Christmas tree farm. So thank goodness our neighbors have that business. It's great for our business. So just wanted to share a little bit of the trying to harvest ready to burn firewood here on Catbird Hill. I think we got a lot more back there ready to go. So thanks for watching. Now I'm understanding that YouTube wants us to have people hype the videos. I think there's an option in the comments section to hype the video. If you feel obliged to do that, please, by all means, we really appreciate it. Share the videos, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure you hit that bell icon for notifications when we upload new videos. And until next time, John here from Catbird Hill. Take care.